What would you do if your partner started speaking in a cringy, baby-like manner, even in public? In today's story, the protagonist's choice is a masterclass in how to handle it. Ever since the arrival of their baby, Elara, my wife, Amelia, seemed to regress in her speech. Instead of teaching little Elara proper language, it was as if Amelia's own vocabulary had transformed into something infantile. She'd interject conversations with strange, nonsensical sounds like Bodi Bodichop and Awafwatada, even when talking to other adults. It was particularly mortifying when we were out in public, and she'd speak like that to complete strangers. I had tried, gently, to talk to her about it, but she would just laugh it off, seemingly oblivious to the stares and bewildered expressions of those around us. It wasn't a developmental issue. She wasn't on the spectrum, just a new mom, perhaps a little too swept up in the novelty of it all. One beautiful Saturday, we finally had a day off. My parents were babysitting Elara, giving Amelia and me a rare opportunity for some time to ourselves. We decided on a nice dinner out, a chance to reconnect. But then, it happened again. When the waiter approached our table, Amelia launched into her baby talk, responding to him with something like, "Yippee, thanks ya, ha ha ha. Oh yeah, by the way, can you give us an extra plate for this?" I watched as the waiter stared at her, a look of profound confusion on his face, as if he thought she was mentally challenged. A wave of frustration, exhaustion, and acute embarrassment washed over me. I rolled my eyes, a silent confession of my exasperation, and then the words just tumbled out. "I am taking a break today and don't need another baby who cannot even talk properly to look after. Please excuse me." Without another word, I stood up and left the restaurant, leaving her there. I'm not entirely sure what possessed me in that moment. Perhaps it was just a cumulative snapping point. As I walked out into the cool evening air, a deleted user's comment echoed in my mind. "Ditching her at a restaurant is unkind and a little dramatic. Talking to complete strangers in a baby voice is crazy and embarrassing. I don't blame you at all for being frustrated and walking away. But she's your wife. And sometimes people we love are imperfect." Their words resonated with the immediate regret that began to settle in. It was a harsh move, no doubt, but her behavior was undeniably weird and atypical for new moms. Another thought that struck me, a point raised by Ye_Rabies, was the question of how long ago Elara was born and who the primary caregiver was. If Amelia was constantly at home with a newborn, with limited adult interaction, then perhaps this was a symptom of a larger problem, not just an embarrassing habit. This reveals Amelia's greatest fatal flaw, her unawareness of how deeply her postpartum experience was affecting her outward behavior, ultimately leading to this public humiliation. It's true, as Silver Goldfish pointed out, that I might have humiliated her by ditching her in public, and perhaps I shouldn't have assumed her behavior was entirely intentional. There could be psychological and medical reasons behind it. As a nursing student specializing in psych nursing suggested, postpartum hormones can certainly do strange things to people. The walk home felt long, filled with a tumultuous mix of anger and remorse. The situation was a mess, and while I stood by my frustration, the way I handled it was undeniably poor. This entire experience underscored a crucial lesson: communication, even when difficult, is paramount in a relationship. Ultimately, this whole experience taught me that while frustration is valid, addressing it constructively is crucial. What would you have done in my shoes?